Hey everyone, welcome to another video on my channel, and today in this video we are going to learn how exactly we can backtest and automate strategies on crypto. So this is going to be a separate series in itself where we are going to learn from scratch how to set up Python and how you can actually use the data from Delta Exchange to backtest your crypto strategies. So before moving on to this video, there are a couple of things which I would like to tell you. The first one is the question you might have, why exactly we are learning this in cryptos and not in NSE or BSE? So the answer to that is quite simple. So if you take a look at it, the NSE data or BSE data, if you actually have to get it, it's a paid data, right? So you have to pay for NSE or BSE and only then you can get the options data. But in case of cryptos or in case of Delta, it is absolutely free. You can use their API and you can extract the data, store it, and later end up backtesting. So the second thing is you might also have a question, is it only for people who already know coding? The answer is no. So even I am beginner to the entire concept of coding, right? So we'll be learning together, even though I have been doing it for quite some time. So as I share the knowledge, I also get to learn a lot of things. So if you have zero idea about Python, you don't have to worry. So we'll be starting from scratch, from how to install Python to how to get the data to Python, to how to use Delta Exchange APIs, and how to backtest your strategies. In this entire video series, the third thing what we'll be doing is we'll be learning different strategies, how to code it on Python, and how to backtest your entire strategy. And finally, we'll be also learning about how you can actually end up automating the execution of this strategy. So all this we are going to do with Delta. The reason is the end-to-end API access and the data access is absolutely free. So in case if you don't have a Delta Exchange account, you can also open it using the link in the description below and you will be eligible to get some additional offers. With this, let's quickly move on to the video. So today is going to be the first video in the series where we'll be learning on how to set up Python and how to use Delta API. So the first question is going to be, why Python and why not Excel? So can't we do the same thing with Excel? So the answer is, it is possible, but as and when the amount of data increases. So assuming that you are actually testing a 5-minute strategy for last 2 years. So you will have n number of data. So crunching all this data using Excel is not going to be easy. So sometimes it might also happen that the amount of data you collect can actually go into 2 or 3 different sheets, right? So when it comes to number crunching, when it comes to analytics, so it is always better to go with something like R or Python rather than using Excel. So that's why just for easier data crunching, we are going to go with Python. So Python is nothing but a simple programming language where you can write line of code and it is going to actually give you an output. So now we have to install certain softwares to one, write our code and also interpret our code. So whatever we are writing on Python, right? So we have to also, the system should also interpret the code. So for that we will be installing certain softwares. First we will go to python.org and here we will end up downloading the latest version of Python, which is 3.13.2, right? So I will download this. I have already downloaded this. So this is my second download. So since this is a beginner video, I'll be showing it from scratch on how exactly to get it done. So now you can just click on install and you can click on add Python to path and you can install the software. So the reason why we are actually doing this on crypto options is because the data of NSE F&O is actually paid. So for us to learn how to backtest and how to automate, we can do it on anything, and here the data is freely available on Delta Exchange. So you can download either 1-minute data, 5-minute data, 1-day data of any option, of spot, of futures. Every single thing can be downloaded at free of cost. So you can keep this data, you can build multiple strategies on top of that, and you can end up automating your trades. So that's the reason, in case if you don't have a Delta Exchange account, so you might not need it for this particular video, but going forward you will definitely need it when you will have to log in and start placing the order. So you can also end up opening an account using the link in the description. So once this gets installed, so I'll be showing you how you can install your Jupyter notebook. So here I have finished setting up my Python, and I have also added it to path, which means essentially I can open command prompt and I can type in Python and I can start coding and it will automatically interpret, right? So right over here I have successfully finished setting up Python, and now I will also be installing Jupyter notebook. So let me just go to CMD, since I have already installed Python to path, right? So here I will just end up typing pip install Jupyter notebook. So just hit on enter. And you can see the installation of Jupyter notebook has started. So you can see that the installation of Jupyter notebook has now been completed, and Jupyter notebook is now successfully installed. So I think I already had Jupyter notebook, so but you can simply type in pip install Jupyter notebook and it will be installed in your system. It might take some time, but it will be done. So once you're done installing, simply type in Jupyter notebook and the Jupyter notebook is going to get launched. So as you can see, so now we have successfully launched the Jupyter notebook. So it's taking a couple of minutes. So here, once your Jupyter notebook is launched, you can simply click on new Python 3, right? So this is the one we'll be selecting. So just click on new and click on Python 3, right? And you will be taken to a new web page where you can start coding, right? So to simply start off with, right? So the most basic function is something called as print. So you can just tell print hello, right? So this is what everybody makes you do, that is print hello world. So we'll just go ahead with that. Once you have finished typing in the code, you can just press shift enter to execute the code, and you can see the output. It shows hello world, right? So this is something really basic when it comes to your coding. So what we are also going to do alongside is we are first going to start by installing the packages. So I'm not going to take you through the full logic on how exactly you can start with Python, but I'm also directly going to jump into what is required, and then as and when we are trying to learn that, I will also be teaching you some aspects of Python. So to start off with our data analytics, we will need 2-3 important packages which we are going to install using our CMD. So first we are going to go to pip install. So here we'll start by first going to pip install Pandas. So this is an important package when it comes to data analytics. So once we have installed Pandas, next we are going to do pip install NumPy. So this is another important package which we have to install for Python. So once NumPy is installed, you can also do pip install datetime. So you can see that we have installed all the 3 required packages. We have installed, that is Pandas, we have installed NumPy, and we have installed datetime. So for now, I'll just show you how you can start collecting the data, right? So then we will try to understand how we can collectively store it in a CSV and later go ahead with the analytics. So to start off with that, so you can simply start off by typing Delta Exchange API on Google, and you can click on the first option. Here you can just scroll down and go to historical OHLC candle, right? So this is a beginner's video. I'll just be showing you on how exactly you can start collecting the data, right? So just click on get historical OHLC candle, and there is a code sample which you will be seeing on your right side. So all you have to do is just copy this code sample, right? For this you don't even have to log in because you can directly send the request. So I'll be showing you what you can do, right? So you just paste whatever the code sample is here, then we will go one by one, right? So you can see that right over here it says request.get. So we are connecting to this particular URL, that is api.india.delta.exchange and so on and so forth. So once we have connected to this URL, we are also passing some parameters. So first one is the candle resolution. So you can see that, so here they have put I need data for 5-minute candle in the sample code. So if you go down, you can see that different values what can be passed for the resolution. Either you can get 1 minute data, 3-minute data, 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour, 1 day, 7 day, 30 day. So these are some of the inputs which you can actually pass it in this place. So if you want 1 minute data, you just change it to 1M and you are going to get 1 minute data. So then the symbol is Bitcoin USD, so we'll go with that. And then we have the start time and the end time. As you can see here is in something called as the Unix timestamp. So if you want to see what exactly is this, so you can just put convert from Unix timestamp, right? So here I have opened a Unix timestamp converter, and you can just paste the start time and you can click to human date. So you can see that they have put the start time as June 1, 2023, right? So in the code, the sample code, it is June 1, 2023, and the end time is going to be, so it's to be precise, June 1, 2023, 11:27:15, right? So you can see that how precise it is. In our time zone, it is going to be 4:57:15 PM. So you can change the date what you want, and you can convert it into again Unix timestamp. So you can see the end date what they have put here, right? So when I convert it is till August 1st, 2024. So you can see the current time is around this. So I am just going to copy this and I am going to paste it here, right? So now we are actually going to get from 2023 June to current date, right? So instead of 1 minute, I am going to pass something like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, right? And Bitcoin USD is my symbol, and then I am going to do, so there is one small thing we have to do here. So we are going to put a brackets here. There is a small mistake. So print r.json. So the output what we are going to get is going to be in JSON. So if I don't have the print here, so and run the code, you can see that the code has run successfully, but there is no output. Why there is no output? Because we do not have any print function. So only when we have a print function, the code is actually going to print out the output, right? So now you can see once I have clicked on print, so now you have the entire result. So you have open, high, low, close and time, open, high, low, close and time. So for the complete day, we have got the whole result in the JSON format. So this way you can just pull out the historical data of any instrument, let's say options, you can pull out for futures, you can pull out for spot. So I'll be showing you how to do it for options, how to automate the entire data collection for options going forward in the next video. But this is going to be a beginner's video. So this way you can set your start time, you can set your end time, so you can set your candle duration, and you can click on print JSON, right? So so you can put print r.json. So here the important thing to note here is this r.json. So basically this r is nothing but this entire request. So let's say I have x here and I put something like t.json here, right? So I am not going to get any response, but I have to keep the variable name the same. So I am just going to do x.json and run the code again. So you can see that I am going to get the value. So when it comes to coding, so it is important to understand what exactly are variables. So here we have a variable, so we have set the value of this variable to so on and so forth. So we are asking it to print this variable, right? So this, with this we have the entire data, but you can see that this entire data is not organized, right? So I'm going to show how exactly you can organize this data, export it to CSV, and with this we'll be coming to the end of this video. So next, here is where to do a much better analysis of data. We have imported something called as Pandas, right? So we have installed it already. So let's import Pandas. So we already know what is Pandas. So I told you that it is a package which is mostly used for data analytics, which has already been installed on our system. We are going to import Pandas. So when we talk about Pandas, the general thing what people do when it comes to Pandas is they will import Pandas as PD. So we are just calling it as PD. So Pandas is a package which we are going to call it as PD. So whenever we are using the word PD down in the code, so it means we are referring to the package Pandas. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to define another variable. So let's call it data is equal to PD dot data frame. So I'm going to open the brackets and I'm going to put this x dot JSON, right? So what it is going to do is data frame is basically going to help you arrange the whole thing in a proper way. So what do we want to arrange? So we want to basically end up arranging this entire thing. So you can see that when you're printing the data, it is coming everything together. It is not properly arranged, right? So we want to arrange this in a better way. So to do that, so we are going to put pd.dataframe and then we are going to put x.json. So I will show you what would be the output. So here we are just going to print data. So first let's see what the output is, right? So you can see that once I try to print this, so here you can see that we have 2 columns into 4000 rows. So what are the 2 columns? So the 2 columns are actually result and success, right? So success, it says true, and then there is the result column. Only thing what we want is to take the result column and then arrange it properly. So we are not really bothered about the success column. So what we are going to do is we are going to open up a square brackets and we are going to type in result, because this is the only column we need, right? So open up the square bracket, type in result, and we are going to run the code again. And now you can see that we have 4000 rows and 6 columns. So what are our 6 columns? So we have close, high, low, open, time and volume. So essentially what we have done is so now what I'll do is I will also print x.json, right? So you can see once I have print x.json, so there is something called as the result. In result we are getting these so and so forth, and also there is another column called as success. So let me see, where is success here. So you can see the second column we have something called as success, right? So what we want to do is we only want to take the column of result. So you can see it's put right over here. So under the result column we have so on and so forth, then we have the success column. So we are taking the result column, and then once we take the result column, so this is going to be the different columns under result, and this is going to be the value. So once I have done that, you can see as I scroll down, since I have printed both, so you can see right over here in the second print, that is I have printed the data right over here. In the second print you can see that it has been properly arranged. So what I can do further is now to put the whole thing into CSV. For that we are going to put data, which is the variable which we have defined here, right? So data, we want to convert this to CSV, that is to_CSV. So here I am going to name the file as say BTC data.csv, right? So I'm going to name this file, and then I'm going to run the code. So now when it comes to saving, so here you go to C, then you go to your users, right? And then under your computer section, if you scroll down, you have something called as BTC data. So the whole thing has been saved. So in case if you want to save it to a different path, right? So you actually go in and you create a new file right over here. So if you had created the whole thing in your documents, right? So the whole thing would have actually saved in your document. So this is something which I forgot to let you know. So upfront you create your new Python file in the folder itself. So once you open your Jupyter notebook, so that's where you are going to get your data saved. So you can open this and you can see that the entire data will now be available for analysis. So right over here the Excel has opened and you can see that we have 4000 rows, 6 columns. So we have the open, high, low, close for BTC 30 minutes. So I guess this is 30 minutes what we are looking at. Right, so it's 30 minutes. So now if you want a 5-minute thing, you can simply change it to 5-minute, change this to BTC data 1.csv and run this, and this would now be saved. So the important thing to note here is this particular thing, that is a Delta Exchange, has a restriction of 4000 per request. So every time you send a request, so they are going to give you 4000 responses. So only 4000 data will be coming. So every time what we have to do is we have to change the start time, end time, and make sure that we collect everything. So for that I will be teaching you on how to use loops and start collecting that. But one important thing to note here is every time you request, they are going to send you 4000 responses. So be it 5 minute, 1 minute, 3 minute, so you are going to receive 4000 responses at once. So if you take a look at it, you can see BTC1 is also stored. So this is basically I guess 1 minute data what we have, 5 minute data what we have requested for. So this way you can actually use a Delta Exchange APIs to start collecting the candle data. You can store it and later use it for your further analysis. So before we move on, so in case if you are finding the content on this channel valuable, so I would ask you to hit the like button, share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. So once you subscribe, there's also a bell icon. So if you just click on that, whenever I upload a video, you will be immediately notified about that. So please support us by subscribing to the channel. Thank you.